Hello and welcome back to Snowrunner, and I am back at the Albany River in Ontario in the new Season 9 DLC, and since the last episode I have gone and explored this top bit of the map. Turns out there's a little town over here, a little port up here, and most importantly of all, there's a roundabout up here. I've also done a couple of tasks. I delivered the scout over here, I delivered the big truck from over here to wherever they wanted it in the town somewhere, and I fixed this bridge. That wasn't particularly difficult. I also did the contract that fixes the garage because that's useful, and doing that has unlocked a whole load of these. I also have a few of these left, and all of these are things that require deliveries, and I haven't done them yet. But we are not doing any of those today because the most important thing we need to do is looking for the fire monster. So it says my team managed to evacuate in the middle of their mission, leaving our working vehicle behind. From what we know, it hasn't suffered any significant damage, so we need to find it, bring it back and fix it. If you can find it, you can keep it. Now of course this is the task to get you the Derry Special 15C-177, but this makes kind of no sense, like they left their working vehicle behind, but if I can find it I can keep it. It's their working vehicle, surely they need it. I don't know, but I can get the Derry and I want to get it. So if we just zoom in on the map, you can see a nice low poly version of it on its side, half in a puddle, and this is what we need to rescue. We just need to repair it and bring it to the fire department parking lot, and the garage on this map is the fire department. For some reason we are just based out of the fire department itself, even though only like half the tasks we do are actually anything to do with fire. We also do some contracts for a mining company. But anyway, I am going to use the big Zix 605R with a crane to go and pick up the Derry Special. Then we can bring it back to the garage and fix it up, and then we get to see what it's like. Not really sure what the best route to get there is, because this whole bit in the middle is kind of awkward to get around, these islands. So we can go around the bottom bit of the map and then up the edge to it here. That would work. We can go like round the road at the top and across. That would work. Or we can try and go down here and up this way or around that way. That would also work. We can go around here and up there. That would work. We can go across here. That would also work. And I don't know which way is best. And I'm thinking it's probably easiest just to drive around the road, because we can drive around the road for like 90% of it, and then just this little last bit here we have to go off road. That's probably the easiest route. And why is it so loud? Why has the game made itself louder? I'm confused. And of course, it is night. Although night on this map is not a particular problem because I can still see. I mean, turn my lights on and there's enough orange haze that I can see pretty well. There are some parts of the map that are very dark because there is no snow, and the other day I turned my lights off and I could see literally nothing. Like, it was just black, which is different to half the maps in this game, because half of them you've got snow and you can turn your lights off and see perfectly fine. In fact, sometimes you're better off with your lights off because then you aren't blinding yourself. Actually, I'll show you the town as I go past, because I didn't actually take this road in the first episode. I just went left out garage instead. This is of course the town of Albany, that's why it's the Albany River. And this town has a couple of speed bumps. Look at this epic suspension simulation. Wow, wonderful. Also, who put signs like in the road? Like, that they are in the road, and what we were expecting wasn't going to hit them. This thing doesn't really fit in a lane. There is a fuel station up here, just a little way up this road. We have this annoying rock, and I don't know whether it's better to go around the left or the right. Probably doesn't really matter. We just drive past at full speed anyway. And then we have the roundabout, and roundabouts are cool, so we're going to drive around the roundabout properly. We must obey the rules of the roundabout and drive around in the correct lane. And then there's a couple of bridges over the river. This one here is actually perfectly intact to start with because there's not a massive flood, so there isn't infrastructure to be fixed, although this second one here was slightly broken in the middle. It just required 1 metal beams and 1 concrete blocks, and that was it. So I did it with this Paystar twin steering up here that's just been left lying around until I need it again. Anyway, I think I'm to turn off here. Yeah, there's actually this chunk of the map I've never been in. I haven't needed to go there. We have a little bit of river to cross. This isn't too bad. The big Zix does not care. Crossing a river or just crossing a swamp? I'm not sure. We are nearly there. We just have to wade across this bit. Where does the path even go? I don't know. We're going this way because this is the more useful way to go. The road comes out a bit here. It just sort of disappears in the middle. Alright, here it is. Lying on its side, half in a puddle. Now I bought a crane and I want to use it. So let's activate crane mode and get this thing out of the puddle. It's not a particularly small vehicle. It also doesn't seem to be particularly big. And I say use the crane to get out of the puddle, it's not working. Use Zix power instead. Really did not need the crane. The crane did not help in the slightest. Alright, so here it is. Looks like it's got a spare wheel. Quite a long cab. Quite a good ground clearance at the front. It looks like it's one of those ones with the engine behind the cab and it has the double drive shaft set up. And yeah, looks like it might be quite a good vehicle. Now we just have to drive all the way back with it. Why does the Zix have to randomly stall? It's just annoying. Well, there are a few trucks that just seem to do that, where as you're going along, they just stall sometimes. And then it disconnects the winch. And it stalled again. Back and reattach. Anyway, that is like the most annoying thing with the Zix. It's a really good truck apart from the fact that it does lag. And we are back at the garage. We just have to drive in here and then we have to repair it. So obviously I have repair parts on this, so we're just going to stick as much of this into there as possible. Oh, and that did all of it. Wow, the Zix has more repair parts than I thought it did. And then we just need to refuel from the ridiculous amount that's in the trunk repair supplies. And let's just give it a bit from the actual Zix itself. And there we go. It's a bit battered. You know what? First thing I'm going to do is go and stick it in the garage and get it fixed up. And then we'll take a look at it. So here's what it looks like, and it's like, well, I was going to say clean, and then I realised that no, it is still definitely muddy, but it's intact form. We have an exhaust sticking at the top, and that is a big engine. Yeah, that is an exhaust placement that may be a bit annoying. Yeah, it's not too bad actually, it's not got much smoke. It probably won't be in the camera too much. There are some vehicles where it really gets in the camera and that is annoying. But anyway, let's go and see what upgrades we can put on this thing. Engines, we can get another engine in the other map, I guess, that is very powerful apparently. I mean, it's not a bad engine to start with, but we can give it S powered away. Gearbox, just stick in the Advanced Special, that is just my default. No, stock. I have the active suspension because I picked that up. Not on off-road tyres, but it gets mud tyres, so yeah, we're gonna put the chunky mud tyres on it. Diff locks engageable, spare wheel. I'll just leave it on there, it doesn't take up any room. And is there any difference between these? One of them is more expensive, like the cheaper one. You get a crane, log carrier, and then we get the fancy fire tank with repair parts and water flatbed short logging frame. Well, it doesn't get a medium one, it only gets a short one. That's a little annoying. Oh well. Maintenance frame, seismic vibration module, sidewall bed, crane, saddle. It looks like it can have both of these at once. That is very nice. Anyway, I'm going to put the fancy new fire tank on it because that looks cool. What visual things we have? Oh, trunk repair supplies. Wait, hang on. Why are the trunk repair supplies in visuals? On literally every other vehicle, they are in the frame add-ons. Like normally they'd be down here, but for some reason on this, they're in visual. Let's just stick some fog lights on it. Neither of these have any more lights on them. Therefore, all they do is make it more likely to hit stuff. What paint do we get? Now we have the fire and the fire rescue one. I like this one. It's got pink on it. It is also incredibly obnoxious, and I think that's funny. It also appears that it doesn't get a random interior card hanging thing. Most of them, you get an accessory. On this, you don't. Don't know why, but apparently you don't. So, let's take this thing, see what it looks like. It's got blue lights on it for the blue light effect. This body looks quite good as well. It all sort of blends in with the front bit here, and the exhaust just sticks out there, and it covers up the fuel tanks. I mean, yeah, it was designed to fit on this, so that's probably not surprising. Let's just see what the active suspension does. Oh, it raises it. That makes sense. Yeah, that's quite a lot of ground clearance. Let's see. How does it drive? That is weird. It's one of the wheels is spinning faster than the others. Yeah, so it has permanent all-wheel drive and an engageable diff lock. Not slow. How does it drive? It's not the sharpest at turning. It doesn't particularly turn. Seems to be doing fairly well down this random dirt road that I saw it at. What about if I just drive it straight into a puddle? It doesn't care. Okay. This is good. It simply does not care. I'm just looking around at the water-related tasks, and there's some couple of putting out fires, and what you have to do is you have to deliver water to locations around the map, and you get water from water towers, and by the looks of things, you have like an infinite amount of water supply from water towers. You just have to build them, and currently there's only 2 that are intact. So I'll probably want to do the, restoring the water tower and the water boom before I try and deliver water, because it'll make it a lot easier. But first, I want to confirm this by taking this to a water tower and seeing what the UI looks like. So, let's see. Press the button. Aha! So yeah, we just fill it with magical water from nowhere. Apparently we have an infinite water tower. But this thing only takes 2200. Some of these are saying like, yeah, this one's 4400, this one's 4400, this one's 4400. That's 2 trips to each of these locations. That seems like a lot of work. And is this the only vehicle that can do water? I've also just noticed there's a tanker over here, and it's blue. I haven't seen a tanker before. It's by any chance a water tanker? It is. It's a water carrier trailer. Wow, what a surprise. This thing's lack of turning means I have to do quite a high number of points on my turns. Oh, what? I can't carry a trailer with this thing. That might be annoying. I'll just pop down in a Civic P12 PF because that's just something happening lying around in my garage, and we're going to see if I can even find it. I wouldn't be surprised if even by connecting to it, it still doesn't tell me how much water I have. It tells me on the trailer that it has 2000. That's annoying. I was hoping it would have more. this means that we will have to do quite a few trips with water unless another vehicle gets a water carrier. Hang on a second, they have added the fire tank. I just went to check because I thought they might have done. So you can get a fire tank for some vehicles. That's cool. Like, you get a fuel tank, you now get a fire tank, which carries water. Unfortunately, it only carries 1800, but this does mean that we are not limited to just the Derry. Is there a small one as well? No, they didn't think of that. Maybe they added a long one. Yeah, no, there is only the standard sized one. While we're checking things, let me see if I can also buy those water trailers. If I can't, that'll be annoying. I hope they just left one lying around to show me what they are. Yes, water carrier trailer. Although it appears they forgot to tell you how much it takes. I'm fairly certain there won't be, but what I have to know, is there a semi-trailer version? There's a heavy water carrier trailer. That is actually... I am surprised. I was not expecting that. How much does this one get? It takes 37,000. Okay, that doesn't sound like a random number at all. So the contract that we're going to be doing is restoring the water tower one, and what they want is a cabin and 2 metal rolls. And the way this map seems to work is that these 2 warehouses seem to give you just about everything, although they are all in limited supply. So that's probably why there is also a plant to make more things. We need 1 cabin and 2 metal rolls, and this place only has 1. Okay, what I'll do is I'll grab 1 from here and 1 from down here, that way. There's 2 up there and none down here, and I'll also grab a cabin. But let's see how this thing actually works in some useful scenarios. You know what I said about this smoke maybe being annoying? Yeah, this smoke's gonna be annoying. I'm gonna be honest, this thing does not have a particularly good top speed. And I know it's a heavy truck and all that, but it's going like 35 on flat ground. Ow. I slightly judged corner. This thing has pretty bad steering, and so I tried to turn in sharper, and I turned in too sharp. Whoops. That's why we've got a spare wheel. But I've got to ask, which do you prefer, first-person time-lapses or third-person time-lapses? I'm full lock right now. This is the thing that major letdown is inability to turn corners. Actually kind of annoying. Anyway, we want 1 metal roll. Boink. Right, and off we go again. We're just going to drive out this way. Definitely a road here. Now then, the second warehouse is just over here, and it's a path that goes off here that the game wants you to take. It sort of twists around the corner here. Except they also gave us some nice destructible trees in a straight line. So, yeah, I don't know what they were expecting to happen, because I'm not taking this random path through a deep muddy puddle when I can just drive through some trees. The only problem with this route is it's a bit bumpy. The ground is not very flat through here. Fortunately, we have a lot of ground clearance. We are fine with this. This thing also seems to be fairly stable. And the lack of front overhang is very useful. When I say lack of front overhang, it does have quite a lot of front overhang, it's just quite high up. And we just need to go into this little place here, and then we can drop off the metal rolls. So we took this road round over here, and now we just have to go all the way back and pick up some more. Although I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna slightly cheat. Hey look, I drove all the way back. The nice thing with this truck is I can just floor it at stuff, because the engine is behind the driver, so you literally cannot take engine damage. And, well, the overhang is so high that it doesn't hit it anyway. Meaning this thing is basically impervious to hitting the front on things and breaking itself. So I can just floor it into random dips in the road, and it'll just drive on through. And then we go back over here. Just in it up there. And it's all fine. You know, with the cabin, this is quite tall. However, it doesn't feel unstable. This is possibly one of my favourite trucks. No, never mind, it's probably one of my favourite trucks. No, never mind, it is one of my favourite trucks. This DLC is turning out rather well. This is probably my favourite DLC. Well, I haven't completed it yet, and I haven't completed most of the other ones, but from what I've seen of all of them, this one is my favourite. Because this truck is cool, the maps look nice, and aren't too bad to drive around. Well, I say it's stable, and then it does that. And then it's fine. What? I saw it suddenly tip up and thought, oh no, we're going to fall over. And then we didn't. So yeah, I was right when I said that the thing was quite stable. And it's just up here again. So we just need to not hit the sign. Walk the caravan. And let's see, do we get a nice animation? Of course we do. Never mind, that wasn't a nice animation. That was not even a cutscene. That was just water tower broken. Now water tower fixed. Here, have loud sound effect. Anyway, I get some small amount of money from that. And I just have to do that like 5 more times for all the other water towers around the map. And then I'll be able to do the actual watering quests. The quests? This game doesn't have quests, this game has tasks and contracts. But anyway, that is going to be it for this video, so thank you for watching, don't get distracted, go subscribe now, and until next time, goodbye.